Welcome back to What Is, where we take the things you see every day and realize you actually know absolutely nothing about them. Today, we're looking at an animal that is essentially a high fashion model that started its life as a very hungry, very tubular sock. We're talking about the butterfly. But what actually is a butterfly? Is it a bird? No. Is it a moth with a better publicist? Maybe. In this video, we're going to peel back the wings on these lepidopterans to discuss their weird names, their body liquefying growth spurts, their global real estate, and why everyone keeps blaming them for hurricanes in Brazil. First, let's talk about the name, etymology. If you look at the word butterfly, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's butter and fly. To my knowledge, no butterfly has ever produced dairy, nor do they taste like butter. Please do not test this. The Old English word was butterfleog. Why? Historians are actually divided, which is an academic way of saying we're guessing. One popular theory is the name came from the yellow brimstone butterfly, which is, well, butter-colored. Another slightly more chaotic theory from German folklore suggests that people believe butterflies were actually witches in disguise, who flew around stealing butter and cream from farmhouses. Imagine being a 14th century farmer, seeing a tiny insect and screaming, "There goes the margarine thief! Fetch the pitchfork." Anyway, the name stuck. In other languages, it's much more poetic. In French, it's papillon. In Spanish, it's mariposa. In Dutch, it's vlinder. But in English, we decided churn fat insect was the way to go. Now let's move from the name to the creature itself. What is a butterfly biologically? They belong to the order Lepidoptera. That comes from the Greek lepis, meaning scale, and pteron, meaning wing. If you've ever touched a butterfly's wing, which you shouldn't, they're fragile, and gotten that weird dust on your fingers, those are tiny microscopic scales. They're like shingles on a roof. These scales give them colors through pigments, or through structural trickery where light bounces off the scales to create iridescence. They are literal masters of optical illusions. But a butterfly doesn't just poof into existence looking like a stained glass window. It has to earn it through the most metal biological process on Earth, the life cycle. Stage 1, the egg. A mother butterfly is very picky. She doesn't just drop an egg anywhere. She glues it to a specific plant that her future children will actually eat. It's like a prenatal meal plan. Stage 2, the larva, or as we call it, the caterpillar. The job of a caterpillar is simple. Eat. Just eat. A caterpillar will often increase its body mass by several thousand times in just a few weeks. If a human baby grew at that rate, a 2-week-old infant would weigh as much as an elephant. They are essentially a digestive tract with legs. They have 12 eyes, but they can barely see. They don't care about the view, they care about the buffet. Stage 3, the pupa. This is where things get weird. The caterpillar builds a chrysalis. Now, popular media portrays this as a cozy sleeping bag, where the caterpillar grows some wings and wakes up. That is a lie. Inside that chrysalis, the caterpillar releases enzymes that would literally dissolve its own body. It turns itself into a literal protein soup. It's a biological slurry. However, certain imaginal discs, which are little clusters of cells that have been hiding inside the caterpillar since it was an egg, survive this acid bath. These discs use the soup as fuel to build the legs, wings, and eyes of the butterfly. It's the ultimate glow up. You go from a tube that crawls on its stomach to a liquid, to a creature that can fly across oceans. If you think your teenage years were awkward, imagine being a puddle of yourself for 2 weeks. Stage 4, the adult, or the imago. When the butterfly emerges, its wings are soft and wet. It has to pump fluid from its abdomen into the wing veins to inflate them. If it doesn't do this quickly, it will never fly and its life will be very short and very confusing. As adults, butterflies don't eat, they drink. They have a proboscis, which is basically a long, coiled up straw. They use it to sip nectar, but they also engage in something called mud puddling. If you see a group of butterflies hanging out by a muddy puddle, they aren't having a meeting. They're drinking mineral-rich water, often flavored with animal waste or decaying matter. Yes, the beautiful, majestic butterfly is drinking pea water for the sodium. Nature is disgusting, and we love it. So where do these beautiful pea drinkers live? The answer is everywhere, almost. Butterflies are found on every continent except Antarctica, because obviously butterflies have better things to do than freeze their wings off. They thrive in tropical rainforests, where the diversity is staggering. But you can find them in deserts, on top of mountains, and in your grandmother's flower garden. Some of them are homebodies, never traveling more than a few hundred feet from where they were born. Others are the ultimate long-distance backpackers. Take the monarch butterfly. These orange and black icons engage in multi-generational migration that defies logic. They fly from southern Canada and northern US, all the way to central Mexico. That's a 3,000-mile trip. Here's the crazy part. The butterfly that starts the trip isn't the one that finishes it. It takes 3 to 4 generations to complete the cycle. But the Methuselah generation, the ones that fly to Mexico to hibernate, live 8 times longer than their parents just to survive the winter. And then, somehow, their great-grandchildren find the exact same tree in Canada the next year. They don't have GPS. They use the sun's position and the Earth's magnetic field. Meanwhile, I can't find my car in a grocery store parking lot if I don't use the beep beep button. This brings us to the global status of the butterfly. How are they doing? In short, it's complicated, and not in a good way. Butterflies are what scientists call indicator species, because they are so sensitive to the changes in temperature, light, and chemical balance. Their health tells us the health of the entire ecosystem. If the butterflies are disappearing, the rest of us are probably next. Right now, butterflies are facing the big three of extinction: habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change. As we turn meadows into parking lots and replace wildflowers with manicured lawns, we are essentially destroying their grocery stores. Pesticides intended for pests don't discriminate. They take out the pollinators too. And climate change is shifting the seasons. If a butterfly hatches 2 weeks early because of a warm spell, but the flowers they need haven't bloomed yet, the butterfly starves. The western monarch population, for example, has seen a decline of over 99% since the 1980s. That's not a dip, that's a freefall. But why should we care, besides them being pretty? Butterflies are vital pollinators. While bees get all the credit, and the honey, butterflies are the auxiliary force. They travel longer distances than bees, meaning they spread more genetic diversity among plants across wider areas. Without them, thousands of plant species and the animals that eat those plants would vanish. This leads us to a concept we covered in our video: what is the butterfly effect and is it real? If you haven't seen that one, go check it out after this, linked above. The term was originally coined by Edward Lorenz, a meteorologist. He suggested that the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil could set off a chain of atmospheric events that eventually causes a tornado in Texas. Now, in pop culture, we use this to mean that if you go back in time and step on a bug, everyone in the future speaks a different language and has 3 heads. But in science, it's about sensitive dependence on initial conditions. It means that small, seemingly insignificant actions in a complex system can have massive, unpredictable results. It's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it? The butterfly is the symbol of the fragile balance of our world, a creature so light it can rest on a petal, yet so influential that its presence, or absence, can change the course of the planet. So what is a butterfly? It's a survivor. It's a shapeshifter. It's a dairy thief from German folklore. It's a traveler that crosses continents without a map. It's a liquid brain miracle that reminds us that change is not only possible, but necessary. Next time you see one, don't just think, oh look, a pretty bug. Think about the fact it survived being dissolved in its own juices just to sit on a flower and look at you. Show some respect. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of scales and soup, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm know we're doing something right. Comment below, what's your favorite type of butterfly? Or tell us about a time you tried to raise a caterpillar and it turned into a nightmare. We want to hear those stories. Don't forget to subscribe to What Is and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep looking at the small stuff, and maybe plant some milkweed. The butterflies would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.